Good evening and welcome to Cinco de Mayo. This is our May 5th, 2026 final budget hearing and business meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so the first thing on our agenda is recognition by the Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES.
Good evening, everyone. So we're very thrilled to have some guests here and to celebrate one of our own students. So without further ado, I want to invite up Dr. Lynn Allen, who will introduce the rest of her team, and we'll get started. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
No, it's not.
There you go. There, better?
There you go.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lynn Allen. I'm Deputy Superintendent at Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES, and as one of our treasured component school districts, it is always wonderful to return to Putnam Valley and have the opportunity to thank you for your support in all things. Most importantly, our amazing shared students. And on behalf of Neil Boyle, our district superintendent, and our BOCES board, I want to sincerely thank Superintendent Luft, the Putnam Valley Board of Education and administrative team for giving us time tonight to celebrate our student of distinction. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Melissa Cafaro. She is our special education supervisor who oversees our local school buildings, and she is going to do the honors of introducing the others who are here, as well as recognize our very special student of distinction.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. Thank you, Dr. Luft and the Board of Education for having us here tonight. I'm here with Lena Duranco, our Student of Distinction's teacher, and we're very excited to celebrate Liam. Liam is a creative and energetic third grader who always tries his best and takes pride in all of his work. He is kind and thoughtful towards others and makes a strong effort to include everyone. Because of this, his classmates look up to him and enjoy being around him. He shows a strong desire to do well both socially and academically. Liam is a great role model within the classroom. He follows rules carefully and often encourages his peers to make good choices alongside of him. He is especially strong in math. He is always eager to learn new concepts and works hard to understand them, never giving up when problems are challenging. He also enjoys science, especially all the hands-on experiments where he can explore and discover new ideas. A true artist at heart, Liam loves creating characters and bringing them to life through his drawings and his stories. He takes pride in sharing his creative work with others in our school community. Liam's hard work, strong academics, creativity, and leadership skills make him a wonderful third grade student and an excellent candidate for our Student of Distinction. Liam, can you come up?
You say something. If you want to say something, you can.
Take it down.
Thank you.
Oh, that's cool.
Congratulations.
No bubbles.
Do you want to turn around and take a picture? Take a picture.
There you go. Hey, come over here.
Yeah, Liam, yeah, thank you. We want to make sure you get there.
Sure. Go ahead.
My name is Liam. Thank you.
He's great.
We're going to go outside and take more pictures. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you
Way to
so
go,
much.
Liam. What wonderful, nice things that were said about you.
Way to go, Liam.
That's awesome.
Congratulations, Liam.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. He's welcome back anytime. He brings good energy.
He does.
Okay, the next, now we're switching to budget hearings. So the next, this is our final budget hearing before the vote on May 19th. Do we have anything to add or anything that's
No,
exciting to add?
So I think this evening sort of marks the culmination of work that's been going on for several months. Obviously, this year's budget really began being discussed all the way back in September. Budget hearings started in December, where Dr. Chan and I started meeting with individual buildings and departments. Presentations continued throughout the winter months, and we've held listening hours, we've held many board meetings, presentations, we've met with the PTA, as well as next week we have another information session scheduled for the senior centers. We're excited to be invited back, and I think that we're presenting what is a very responsible school budget. It balances our fantastic instructional programs with the financial burden it places on our taxpayers. So I believe we've met we've done our due diligence to present a responsible budget. It comes in at 1.98% is our tax levy increase. So unless there's any other questions specific to the budget, I think we're good to go.
Because I'm sorry, I didn't open it up for public comments before we did the BOCES thing. So if anybody wanted to talk on the budget, we would hear you now, even though it's an agenda item. Okay. So next, we need to select the chairpersons for the vote. Wait a minute. Huh?
And Jeanette have offered to co-chair the vote. They'll
Okay.
share the responsibility.
Okay. So there'll be somebody there in the morning and then the afternoon at elementary school, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
If either one is delayed or anything like that, I am available. You give me a call and I can come in, but thank you.
You can sleep in. I will wake up.
I'll be there, I'll meet you. That's it.
If you meet me, I'm gonna lose it. If you're gonna make me wake up at 6 a.m. only for you to show up,
I always voted 6. I didn't
You
see the
should open
notice
it.
until Saturday morning. That was the problem. But you and Jeanette had already asked for the slot, so.
it's up to you. If you wanna do it, you're more than welcome.
Are you sure? I'll take it. Yeah,
It's my
I'll
pleasure
do the
anyway.
6 a.m.
100%. I was waiting for you to offer and you didn't,
Great.
so I took
Yes,
it.
put me down, Maureen. I'll open it up. Yes, okay. Good, Sasha.
Listen, I would have done it, but we have an offer.
No problem.
Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so let's move to the consent agenda.
Yep, okay. Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to approve consent agenda items 2 through 6 as listed below.
Second.
The board is approving minutes of the previous meeting, CSE, CPSE placements, approving additional or unpaid hours for various staff members, which includes the summer programs of ESY, Summer Boost, and Kinder Camp, approving agreements and contracts, including a co-op transportation agreement that joins Putnam Valley with Croton, Garrison, Hen Hud, Lakeland, Ossining, Peekskill, and Yorktown, approving health and welfare contracts with Haldane and Yorktown, approving a contract for cooperative educational services with the RIC for school years 2026 to 2031 through Southern Westchester BOCES for computer services, a student transportation contract, and a contract with Pace University for next school year to field opportunities for Pace grads and undergrad students for the School of Education and providing professional development opportunities for district faculty and administration.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you, Mrs. Bellino. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Resolutions pass. Okay, reports. Students, so nice to see you. It's spring today.
We don't have much, but our IB tests for seniors have started. They started last week, and they'll go for probably the next 2 weeks. And then the NHS ceremony was last Wednesday for those being inducted into the National Honor Society.
And it was lovely to see both of you there. It was a great evening. Okay, so it's quiet for the students, huh? Nice. Dr. Luft.
So good evening again, everyone. So this week marks our teacher/staff appreciation week. So I do want to extend our gratitude to all of our professionals that make everything we do here every day on behalf of our students possible. So I know we sent a letter today, as well as I know the PTA sponsored some activities, lunches throughout the week, but I do want to take this opportunity to recognize that. I did also find out that it's Nurse Appreciation Week, so I'd like to extend my appreciation to all the nurses out there as well. As we mentioned, the Science Research Symposium took place. We had a fantastic keynote speaker come back in and really share her experiences with the students, and it's always a humbling experience to hear our students present their research, even with a doctorate. I don't understand half of what they say. It's a very humbling thing. But I do want to extend our gratitude to Coach West, as well as our student presenters and our keynote speaker for making that evening a possibility. As we mentioned, NHS had their induction ceremony. We actually inducted a lot. There was a lot of juniors that were inducted in. My highlight is always hearing our seniors announce where they're attending school and what they'll be studying. I think there was 3 elementary educators in the entire class.
Yep.
Everybody else is like science, lots of nurses. There were a lot of nurses.
Yeah, quite a few nurses.
Lots of science majors, architects, engineering,
Chemists.
all that good stuff. Girls in Sports Day on Sunday. Putnam Valley hosted their Girls in Sports Day. I know that Sam had stopped by. Always a great showing, and we want to thank both the organizers as well as our coaches and our student athletes who were present helping facilitate that. It wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for our coach and student volunteers who were there helping our youngest athletes in the community come out and learn all about different sports. For me, this time of year is actually a highlight. I've had the opportunity to visit many classrooms, observing some of our non-tenured teachers, and it's always a good reminder as to why I do this lovely job every day. Getting in classrooms and seeing teachers and talking to students is always a good reminder as to why we are all here. So I very much embrace that opportunity to do so. Another very exciting time, and I know there's one of them here this evening, is we've been doing a lot of work regarding filling some of our open vacancies and hiring some new staff members. So we continue to do that as we fill our remaining vacancies, and we're looking forward to welcoming all our new hires back for our orientation program at the end of August. Some information to share. Our student artists have some work on display at the Katona Museum. Their annual Young Artist event is running through May 24th, and we have 9 Putnam Valley High School seniors have their artwork on display. Congratulations to the Putnam Valley Central School District Music Department, once again recognized as the best community of for music education. Several of us had a meeting with the town supervisor and tax assessor. There was actually a very productive meeting. It was a great educational opportunity, I think, for both parties, and we're looking forward to further collaboration in the future. I do want to talk a little bit about advocacy efforts. I know the board had endorsed a letter that we sent out for a voter voice campaign addressed to the New York State Public High School Athletic Association, and this advocacy is really about creating a separate championship for private schools versus public schools. For those who are aware, in many cases, private schools dominate public schools when it comes to that championship level. And really what our hope is really just to create an equitable and fair playing field. We're not trying to take opportunities away from students, but create a separate classification so private school students can compete against other students who attend open enrollment schools, while public school students can play against other school districts that are restrained by their district boundaries. So that information is out there. We're certainly willing to share that voter voice information. What it does is it instantly generates a letter to both the NISFA officials as well as local assembly people and senators, and as well as the state education department, governor's office, and others, just making them aware that this is sort of a community issue and not necessarily just a school issue. Some of the upcoming events, we have Commissioner Rosa scheduled to visit our schools on Monday, May 11th. We'll spend about the first hour of the day here at the high school. Ms. Levine has a whole parade scheduled. I think there's jugglers and clowns and cars and cheerleaders performing and marching bands and other stuff. But it's going to be quite the showing of Putnam Valley upon her arrival. She will transition to the middle school to visit some classrooms, meet some students, and then end her day with her entourage in the elementary school, again, visiting some of our students' classes and seeing all the things that Putnam Valley is so proud to show off here. So next Monday, that'll be taking place. We do have our bid opening for the remaining portions of our facilities project upcoming, so by next board meeting, hopefully we could award more of that work. Our Culture and Discipline Committee is scheduled to meet again on May 12th. That's been a committee that's met throughout this school year and will continue into next year. The district and the Putnam Valley Federation of Teachers Executive Committee meeting, we meet several times a year, just as a whole group. We set an agenda together and use it as a great opportunity for collaboration, so that meeting is scheduled for May 7th, as well as our next collective bargaining session with the Putnam Valley Federation of Teachers, which is scheduled for May 21st. And our middle school career fair is also coming up on May 21st. And that's it. Thank you.
It was a lot of stuff.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What was the purpose of meeting with the tax assessor?
It was really just that we were reviewing some, as you know, the exemption conversation that started here at the board kind of opened up, I don't want to say can of worms, but it raised more questions than we had answers. So some of that conversation was getting answers to those questions regarding what are qualifying factors, what are disqualifying factors. We spoke a lot about information sharing. The new town tax assessor has been much more willing to partner. He's been working very closely with Dr. Chan and her team to provide us with data and information. So it was just a great opportunity to touch base, sort of learn from each other, and reach an agreement regarding how we could sort of mutually support each other moving forward. So I'm looking forward to next. I mean, there was no sort of formal agenda as much as it was more of a meet and greet information sharing session. So
Will
we're
you be
hopeful
meeting
that,
throughout the year?
yeah, absolutely. We have been meeting periodically with the town supervisor. This is just the first time the assessor was part of that meeting because of questions related specifically to the exemptions that the district's been offering. So it was productive. Any other questions?
No?
Thank you.
Good to go.
Okay, we're going to move to new business. Number 1, please.
Whereas Christina Cruz has been previously tenured as a teacher in a New York public school district, or BOCES, and whereas said teacher has presented proof of receipt of tenure, now therefore be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools that the Board of Education hereby appoints Christina Cruz to a 3-year probationary term as a speech therapist commencing on September 1st, 2026, and terminating on August 31st, 2029, in the 10-year area of speech at the middle school, high school, on Step 13, Masters of the Putnam Valley Federation of Teachers Salary Schedule. Ms. Cruz holds speech and language disabilities professional certification.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Number 2, please.
Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to appoint Caitlin Chapton to a 4-year probationary term as a science teacher, commencing September 1st, 2026, and terminating on August 31st, 2030, in the tenure area of science at the middle school on Step 3 MA of the PVFT salary schedule. Ms. Chapton holds biology 7 through 12 initial certification.
Second.
Questions or comments?
I do want to note that I see Caitlin in the audience this
Yeah.
evening with her family, so
All in
we-
favor?
we will welcome her up.
Aye.
Wait.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Resolution passes.
Okay.
Caitlin, come up and
Come
shake
on
her.
up. Thank you.
Bring her with you. It's okay.
Yes.
She's now part of the Putnam Valley family. And Caitlin's one of ours.
Congratulations, welcome.
Thanks. Welcome back.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Oh, what a sweet.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for joining, family.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Caitlin has offered to take you all out for dinner and drinks for having sat through. Although I gotta be, you guys, in terms of meetings go, you lucked out the fact that you only had to wait a half
Yes.
hour to get here. So if it was gonna be like 2 hours before we got there, we would have moved you up so you didn't have to sit here beforehand. So thanks again for coming and congratulations.
Thank
I didn't recognize the name, but I know the face. It's always good to have students back.
Yep.
as teachers. I think it's
That's right.
exciting.
Please don't feel obligated to stay if you guys want to move on. Thank you.
Thanks, Debbie.
That's a nurse.
What are we on?
Number 3.
Wait a minute. Number 3. Sasha, number 3.
Sorry,
That's okay.
I saw a nurse. I got excited. Happy Nurses Week. Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to appoint Joshua Colon to a 4-year probationary term as a Spanish teacher commencing September 1st, 2026, and terminating on August 31st, 2030 in the tenure area of world language at the middle school on step 1 MA of the PVFT salary schedule. Mr. Colon's New York State Spanish 7 through 12. Initial certification is pending NICED approval.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Oh, it's nice. We found a Spanish teacher. It's always an exciting thing. Number 4, please.
Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to appoint Megan Fleming to a probationary appointment as a senior office assistant in the athletics department on step 5 of the CSEA salary schedule effective May 8th, 2026. Ms. Fleming will immediately begin an unpaid leave of absence effective May 8th, 2026 through July 19th, 2026. Ms. Fleming will begin her 52-week probationary period on July 20th, 2026 through July 19th, 2027.
Second.
Questions or comments?
I just want to clarify the leave of absence
Yeah, if you
covers the when the expiration of that civil service exam is and when the start date. So she will be filling in for Kathy in athletics. Kathy doesn't leave until July. So that leave of absence covers the gap from the expiration of the existing CSEA test to when her start date will be.
Got it. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Number 6, please.
Resolved to approve the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association 2026-27 nominating committees, slate of officers, directors, members of the Board of Directors, and the 2026-27 proposed budget, and authorize the Board of Education President to sign the WPSBA annual meeting ballot as per document number 181/26 attached to the agenda and official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments? So I had asked Maureen earlier, so we're approving her budget and the slate of officers, which all of you got.
Yes.
Crystal, I think you and Jackie and I are going to go to the dinner. We'll
Yep.
vote there, but Maureen also has our vote.
Did
in
you just
case.
uninvite me?
Are you coming? I'm so excited. I didn't know. Maureen didn't tell me. So
Yes,
now
I got
you're uninviting yourself. Okay. Anyway, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Number 6, please.
Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to award the base bid for contract 1 site work for the 2025 capital project to Laura Lee Industries as per document number 186/26 attached to the agenda and official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments?
This is the part of the voter-approved facilities project from last May. And this work will cover the retaining wall, paving, new parking areas here on the middle school, high school campus.
Which will start right after school
The
closes?
plan is to start this summer, yes.
Yeah.
And once the bid is awarded this evening, then Dave will already start scheduling meetings with them regarding schedules.
Excellent. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. I'd like to now open it to public comment on any topic.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Joe Ferraro. I'm calling here with a PSA to invite you and all your friends to a
Joe,
special
can you lower the microphone? I can't hear you. You're not coming through too well.
special evening
There you
tomorrow at the library where there will be 2 important conversations. One at 6 p.m. and one at 7 p.m. At 6 p.m. will be a library budget information session followed immediately after at 7 p.m. with a Meet the Candidates Forum that will be moderated by myself. I know everybody's so excited about that. So just want to invite everybody who is watching and who might be watching within the next 24 hours that around this time tomorrow we will be knee-deep into our Meet the Candidates. And I just want to thank everybody for coming out.
Thank you, Joe.
And thank you, Joe, and the library board for opting to host this Meet the
debate,
Candidates.
yeah.
We're confident that your volunteerism will be met by nothing but positive feedback from all. Just don't check social media.
Okay. Our upcoming meetings, so the vote is May 19th, again from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. If you want to hear the results that night, you have to be in the room before the doors close at 9 o'clock. Hopefully it'll be a little faster than last year's.
That
Count?
it will definitely be.
Okay.
So yes, it's a little scary, but we will, the next time we meet will be after the vote, right? So May 19th is the next vote, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the elementary school. You could see our website or contact Maureen Bellino, the district clerk, for additional information on early mail or absentee ballots. I know that individuals have been in and filling them out, but just as a public service announcement, they are available to anyone who needs them. Maureen is the right person to go to, or there is links for all the information you need available on the district website. And the next time we gather as a board will be after the vote on May 21st.
Okay, board member comments. I have a bunch, so I'm going to wait till everybody else is done.
I have a request. Is it possible, last year we had a student from the tech center over at BOCES come and speak to us about the program and how important it was to that young individual, that young lady. Is it possible to get another speaker over here this year? We still have time. It's only the beginning of May. You know, if we could do it in June or something like that, I would love to get a perspective again. I think it's so important that you know, the career-oriented programs that BOCES offers.
Well, and somehow last year we also, I missed it, which is entirely possible, but BOCES graduation, it's always nice to go. Guy and I used to go. John Kleinegris and I have gone. I'd like to know when it is, so I think that would be nice.
Sure, they always send information and invite us, so I'll be sure to extend.
It's June 11th.
June 11th. Look at you.
It's on prom.
Oh.
Oh.
I didn't schedule it. I want to know for the record. Write that down. Luff did not schedule the graduation session at BOCES or the prom.
Oh, and we have a board meeting that night, Thursday, the
Yeah, we
11th
do.
of June?
We do.
They also have, which I have on my calendar to attend, is they have their open house for the component districts.
Yeah.
That's coming up as well. I think that's also in
That's
June.
next week. No, that's the 13th
Oh, it's coming up that soon.
of May.
But that's an opportunity, obviously, it's not to celebrate our students, but an opportunity to see their programs,
Right.
tour their facilities, hear from them. So I don't know if anyone else is
Are you
interested,
thinking
but
of going? I'm
I was
going.
planning on attending
I'm
that.
going to be at the town board meeting that night on May 13th.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple items that they're going to be discussing. The student perspective is important to me because we do
sure.
invest a lot of money
Yeah.
into the program. So if we can get a student, you know, I'm sure a phone call to, you know, the principal of the program and just say, hey, listen, who do you have that, you know, from Putnam Valley
So
come
while,
over and talk to us?
while I cannot promise a student, I could see Miss Levine in the back of the room typing away as you're speaking, so I'm sure she's already working on it.
Thank you, Jackie.
We will try to find a student,
Okay.
but at the very least, we could definitely do an information session. I know in the past, we've had directors or
Oh, yeah, we
principals of
have.
the programs come and speak, so I'm sure we could have something, whether we do it ourselves or have someone from P&W here to do it. Obviously, our priority will be to try to find a student, but that's obviously up to the student. So if
It's
they
a
don't
great-
work, Eliana said she'll do a presentation for them on their behalf.
I love her
Thank you.
eyes.
It's a great sister
Deer
program
in
to what
headlights.
we do with our kids.
Sam,
It'd
have
be
you been
awesome.
on a tour of the facility recently?
What's that?
Have you been on a tour, Jeanette and I, like recently?
Many, many times, yeah.
Okay,
You-
yeah.
I-
It
when
was
I-
like incredible.
Yeah, the way the the levels go. And when I was AP here, I was also the liaison over at Tech for our kids. I would go at least once every 2-3 weeks just to check to see, because I love the program.
Yeah.
And I would talk to our kids, and it's really cool that they have that opportunity to invest themselves in a trade. It's so important.
There was an architecture classroom that we like sat in on where they were literally creating a building with numerous things in the building that would do well in a certain area. So the one that we looked at was a student in Dubai. He created a building on a certain corner based on the amount of traffic that was there, and like they did this whole
It's amazing, isn't it?
assessment of like the traffic of the area, tourism, what sells, what doesn't sell. Not only did they have to they had to do so much research, and then they had to create a building and like price it out. I mean, it was so like real life experience. It was just incredible. A lot of them were, I feel like BOCES sometimes still gets a bad rap, but like every student we were speaking to was going on to further their education. So like going to college or going abroad or doing
Or
things like that.
apprenticeship,
Or apprenticeship.
into the field.
Particular program we were doing,
Yeah.
we didn't have anybody in apprenticeship, but there were definitely a lot of other opportunities. But it's not. It's a stepping stone sometimes.
I think it's awesome.
To give you. I don't know. I feel like sometimes it gets a bad rap, but it's such an incredible opportunity, and it should be utilized. People should look into it.
Thank you.
Just a couple of things. So I want to encourage our board and the district to continue to, whenever possible, bring students to meetings to be able to be celebrated. I think it's really important. I think kids coming to meetings helps us to ensure that we're centered on what matters most, which is our kids. And there's always something to be celebrated in Putnam Valley because we do really great work here. So I would love to see a little bit more of that happen next year. Additionally, just on the celebratory notice, we have 85 students participating in NYSSMA this year, which is absolutely amazing. So for those of you who don't know, that's where a student goes to essentially be judged by a music educator who they don't know. They have to prepare a piece that is usually very challenging. Our music teachers work with the students on their own time to try to make sure that they're well prepared. And historically, they've done very, very well in those adjudication sessions. And so we have 85 students participating. That's a really big deal. Additionally, we were also, once again, I don't know how many years in a row it is, but awarded one of the best communities in music education.
I think every year.
I think it's been like
Yeah.
every year
Every year
since its
since it's
existence, right?
14,
So
yeah,
we
14.
continue to take that in stride, and kudos to our music department for all that they do for our students. I recently attended the high school steering committee meeting. Again, we're doing really great work around just, what does grading actually mean? What should it mean? What should it look like for various departments at the high school level to ensure that the grades that students are getting are reflective of what they have learned in the classroom. In education, the pendulum has swung. Specifically post-pandemic has swung to the SEL side of things, social emotional learning, more than what academic rigor is actually supposed to look like. And I think everybody is ready to get back to a more balanced approach to understanding what grading represents. And that would be inclusive of students and teachers and parents. And so we've done some great work this year. I want to congratulate Mr. Ninen and the science department at the high school. They did a model for the other departments around what unified grading could look like in a department. It's very challenging to do across departments at the high school level because the nuances of how English is graded versus how science is graded is different, right? But certainly within the department, there should be continuity. And so that work is happening and is really moving forward. And it's really very exciting to see because now students will really have a true understanding of what their grade means at the end of a quarter, at the end of the year.
So will they get that like at the beginning of the year,
That's essentially what it is
a
a syllabus, yes, that we're, now there are syllabi already created at the high school in different departments, but essentially it's revamping them to just ensure that if there's multiple teachers that are teaching the same course, that one teacher doesn't have 20 assignments and the other has 10.
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like, those things need to be,
Consistency.
there needs to be consistency amongst courses and within departments as much as possible. And then we've also talked about things that are needing to be more consistent across the building. Things like our late policy for work and how teachers are handling that. You know, it can be confusing to students if everybody has a different way of doing things. So I am very proud of the team that's leading the steering committee. They're doing a great job. Mr. Mello has been incredibly involved, and when he's not available, Dr. Payne has been there as well. So there's an evident support from administration to be able to do this work, and I think that's critical. So really great work there. I will be also attending the elementary steering committee, which is coming up in the next week or so. And then the student vote. Our students are going to get to vote on Mason the dog's middle name, which,
The Mighty.
according to Sam, should be Mason
Mighty.
the Mighty. That's his vote. So please make sure that your kiddos come out with you. That's the caveat. They've got to come out with you as a parent to be able to vote that day as a family experience for our democratic process. So we'll have the voting open to students. I think we're going to start at 7 a.m., I believe is what we talked about. So 7 a.m. Till 9 p.m. the booth will be open for students to be able to vote. There'll be decorations, picture opportunities, ballots for filling out, and lots of fun. And also the students will be doing a lesson around what voting means. That's age appropriate.
Students are on the high school steering committee or
Yes,
not?
they are. Eliana's one of them.
Okay. Did the grading conversation, was it brought by students? Was it
Partially,
brought-
yeah. Do you want to speak to that?
Yeah,
Go
talk
ahead.
about it.
Okay.
Yeah, talk about it.
You've been there every time
Yeah.
since. So why don't you talk about the inconsistencies that you talked about in the beginning?
Well, we talk about how like some people, like depending on like who their teacher is, like they can be in like the same class but get completely different like grades in it, and like you can have like a teacher put in an assignment like the day before the quarter's done, like have no assignments until the day before. Then some people it's like a lot, and then it could like change like who you want as your teacher and like the relationship between it, and because of how inconsistent it is.
So it's more assignments than grades, or was there also discrepancy in grading that students
I
felt
don't
that
think
it was
it's
not
about
fair?
like the actual grade that the teacher gives. It's just like the assignments and like how many tests and like what their late policy is. Do they accept late work? Is it completion based? Is it like correctness?
Right,
So
which
do you
those
feel
factors-
that the work that was done is going to be beneficial to students? I know you guys are building it for the next, you're building the boat for the next
Group.
team, but
Yeah.
Do you think it will be beneficial? What we're doing?
Yeah, I think it will help. I mean, and it's going to be like, I guess, different, but
more work needs to be done, like next year? I mean, it's not finished,
yes.
correct?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Very big project.
Good,
Very, like, I cannot even tell you the immense grandeur of this project, that it's starting small, but will infiltrate. My hope is that it will infiltrate the entire high school, because a student shouldn't be in a class receiving good marks all year and then take a final assessment and not do well. Because now a parent thinks that all is well and doesn't necessarily have the opportunity to check in about something that might be happening if it looks like their child is getting 90s all year, and then when they're faced with an assessment at the end of the year, they bomb that assessment. And so that's one of the places where this conversation began from the parent perspective, and then the student perspective was more so about just the consistency in what's happening in classrooms, especially when they are the same class. And so it's a huge project, and I am so proud of the high school for committing to this work. And when I tell you the people on this team, both parents, teachers, and students that are committed to this work are really in it to ensure that the future of what grading looks like at Putnam Valley is equitable, that it makes sense, that it's also rigorous in nature, and that there's a scale of rigor, right, as we prepare students for college. We talked about the difference in rigor between IB classes and non-IB classes, between AP classes and non-AP classes. So there's just been a tremendous amount of wonderful conversation that is actually providing action. And I think that's the biggest piece.
I have a few comments about that. One, there was a movement a while ago, I can't remember when, related to grading with equity, based on students not having the same opportunities at home, thus creating disparities in grading. How is our school, I don't actually know, is our school participating, like, does it follow this, like, equity for grading? And if that is the case, how is that impacting how grades will be given and applied across classes?
Sure. So the high school, I think over the course of 2 years, did a book study on grading for equity. I think what you're seeing now, the conversations that are taking place now, is sort of trying to take those individual lessons and what those teachers learned from that book and now put that look at it through like a systematic approach, right? So while I think that book study changed individual teachers' perspectives and how they grade or how they view grading or how they value grading, now what we're doing is going the next step from the individual to now looking to do it across a department, right? So now we're looking to take those same lessons and apply that equitably across departments. The issue is not every teacher left that book study with the same feelings and the same beliefs.
Correct.
And now I think the work that Crystal's talking about is now you're trying to align people who may have very diverse perspectives about grading, right? Whether if it's a day late, you get a 0, or whether I'll take it late and I'll give you full credit, or whether you get half the credit. People feel very strongly about teacher autonomy and how they run their classroom. And it's a huge lift to try to align teachers across the department to agree to a common set of expectations. But I think what Crystal had pointed out, I think we owe it to parents to be able to, for the grade, report card grade the students go home with, to reflect their ability to do well on an assessment, right? So if you think your kid's an honors student in science all year long because they come home at a 95 and then get a 55 on a Regents, that's an issue. And I think everyone acknowledges that being an issue. So the work now is trying to align grading across departments so that everybody has a sort of a fair look as to where they are excelling and where they need improvement.
So a lot of the big pushback on that grading for equity was that people perhaps were not given appropriate feedback based on, or appropriate, maybe not appropriate is the wrong word, assignments and grades based on having to know things, that they were not getting things wrong based on, like, because that was like the whole push, you know, like to give everybody a fair chance, so that so is the push more towards aligning with that book, or is the push away from back to like what I was learned, where if you didn't know it, you got a bad grade. If you didn't hand it in, it's a bad grade. So who's creating that balance between like this grading for equity versus actual assessments? And
yeah, I think the movement is definitely towards the lessons learned from that book. Now, grading systems, grading scales is a very small portion of the content within that book, right? It goes a lot deeper to much more sort of holistic type of topics.
Totally, yeah.
But regarding grading scales and expectations, I think that the movement is moving in that direction towards being consistent regarding how many assignments we have, how heavily weighted exams are versus homework, what the expectations are, how many assignments you have. It's really to come up with equity across grade levels so that students, it's a bad situation where if the teacher your student's assigned to determines their ability to score really well on their report card versus much more difficult to score well. And that shouldn't be the case based upon which class you end up in.
Right.
I just want to make sure there's like
Yes.
accountability, like
So-
what you said, like if these words sound bad and I don't necessarily mean it, but if there's like fluffy grading throughout the year and it's across the thing, across the board in each department, when we get to the assessments at the end and when we're trying to figure out whether or not people are literate and can do math, are these assignments and these grades going to reflect
So I think the question that you're asking can be answered with this. The book Grading for Equity talks about very specific topics that truthfully, I think some of the pushback in that time was really related because to people not being able to put their heads around that because
Yes.
things were being done so inconsistently. And it's not necessarily a bad thing in a high school that teachers are the shepherds of their classroom and the shepherds of their grades. That's not unique to this building, I would say. But in looking at instruction that's driven by data, you can't really do anything until you actually level the playing field to ensure that students are getting as similar of an experience in classroom A than in classroom B if it's the same course. And
That makes
so
sense.
right now, that's what we're doing, is to just level the playing field logistically with these things that are very tangible. How many assignments are in a quarter? Because, first of all, we have to determine what are the disparities. Within a department, how many assignments is each teacher giving in the courses that they teach, looking at that data, and then coming up with this, which is what the science department did. They came up with a solution, right? Taking all of the ideas of the people who teach those courses to be able to create a framework for that department for just actual grading and what a grade will mean as far as, is it indicative of learning? How is it indicative of learning, right? It's less about, right now, the disparities that happen when people come from different backgrounds, because you can't make that determination until you have a level playing field. And so that's part one. Part two that we've talked about is norming our grading practices. So once the systems are equalized, then teachers have to work together to essentially score together to say, am I scoring this if it's on a rubric of 0, 1, 2? Am I scoring this a 2, but you're scoring it a 1 and why?
Right.
And then comes the work. Once that's all done, it's like a triangle, right? Foundation first. At the top of that work is really now based on that, how are our kids performing based on what they bring to the table that is applicable to what we do in school, and where do we need to build in equity so that they have a fair shot based on what they're coming in with. So it's layered, and that's why it's so hard, because it's a huge project. And again, I will say I'm so proud of the high school team for taking it on, and they're doing a really great job. So one step at a time.
So it's been proven that in order to make change happen, you have to have buy-in from the
Right.
people who the change is happening to. What kind of buy-in do you have from the teachers?
So that's an ongoing conversation. I will say that the steering committee this year in every building is very teacher-run, which is a little bit of a shift than in previous years that I've sat on steering committees. And it's wonderful because this conversation actually came from the teachers. And that's, I think, what Dr. Left is trying to say, that because of the book study that was done, I think that there was light shed on that we can do some work around this, and it will be good for kids, it will be good for parents, it will be good for teachers. Because as a new teacher, one of the benefits of doing this work is, as a new teacher, when you're handed a syllabus that says you need to do 10 assignments for quarter one and 10 assignments for quarter two and 4 quizzes and 2 it makes it so much more palatable to be able to figure life out as a new teacher and also ensure that there's continuity in instruction. So there's a lot of benefits to doing this work. Buy-in wise, I think it's there because it really only helps everyone. However, and this is just the last thing I'll say, the autonomy that Dr. Luft was speaking about
just gonna ask that
is
same
it is,
question.
and I'll be the first to say it's very important, not only in every teacher's life, but also, like, I think more so in secondary teachers' lives, because sometimes what they teach is so unique. There's a lot of singleton courses that happen in a high school, and so they have to kind of have domain over how they're doing things in their room. But when there are multiple sections of a course, there has to be that through line of alignment, right? And so what we're trying to do is build a happy medium where the language is not so tight that it still gives teachers autonomy, but it also does level the playing field. And when you do this with things that are very tangible, like the number of assignments, there's no opinion about that. It's a number. It's very quantitative. It's not qualitative, right? And so it's easier for people to grasp, I think, which is why we chose to start there and then go to the more philosophical stuff later.
Okay. I think it's just important to balance the autonomy with the accountability.
Absolutely.
And it's
Absolutely.
a
And
hard
you know
balance.
that you and
I don't know that I necessarily, I don't have the right answer. I'm just interested in.
you and I are on the same page about that
Yeah.
for sure, because accountability is
Yeah.
everything. But
Right.
the bigger piece is just that those grades, if they're indicative of learning throughout the year, they're going to point to what a child will get on an assessment.
Right.
It's-
Yeah, I absolutely.
And
agree
if
with
those
that.
two
I've seen
things
it
don't match,
many times.
you know, like maybe they won't match perfectly, but they should be within a 10th percentile.
Right, if you're
of-
scoring high throughout the year, you
Right.
should score high on
Absolutely.
the assessments, yeah, which is not always
So,
the case, for sure.
What is exciting is that everybody, at least that's on the steering committee, including teachers, are very excited about this work. And I was very encouraged to see one department choose to move in this direction and work together to build a model. That's the key to buy-in, is when teachers are doing the work, they see other teachers doing the work, and then they get excited. So I'm just like over the moon about this project. It's great.
I think you've convinced me to join the steering committee, as long as they don't always meet during the day. But I will try.
So I think the hope is equitable grading systems. Sort of the next step from that is common assessments, right?
Right.
So equitable grading systems could generate common assessments. Common assessments are tied to individual standards.
Yep.
So if we have common assessments to individual standards, now we're having teachers having informed instruction, knowing exactly where their students stand, tied to standards, the same standards that appear on the assessment at the end of the school year. And that's when you really start to be
Yeah.
able to empower teachers with data to drive their instruction,
Right.
to know where their students stand, and that will become a much more reliable predictor of student success at the end of the
Exactly.
year than what we currently have now, which is not common assessments, not time to standards,
Mm-hmm.
not the data analysis is not done after each assessment, and it doesn't give us the same
Right.
prediction of
Right.
student success in the future.
That was
Right,
great.
which
That
is
was a really
really-
good explanation. Thank
It's
you.
just so exciting.
Yeah, great.
And when it doesn't match, sometimes it's because the assessments that we're looking at are state assessments that
Right, which
that
is a
are,
whole
they
nother-
can be
And-
well-written
right.
or not.
Right. And
I took the fourth grade science test, and I am pretty good at fourth grade science, but the
You should
questions
see
were
the fifth grade.
tricky. Like, I don't know who wrote them, but like, what were you thinking? A 10-year-old is reading this.
Yeah.
You know, so,
I also, just on that note, I want to say that this is not about, at all, teaching to a test. That is not
Which
what
is
this
another
is.
complication.
This
Okay.
is about building quality instruction and more so quality instructional systems that allow teachers to do exactly what Dr. Luff just talked about, which is to look at data on the masses to determine where are our strengths and our standards right now, where are the weaknesses, or perhaps there is one teacher that's really strong in one standard, or students in that class that look like they're really strong in one standard. What's happening in that room? Let's send everybody to go see it, right? That's the power of data, is the collaboration that can happen amongst teachers once it's being analyzed. But you can't analyze data unless it's good data. And so you have to make sure that things are comparable first. And so, you know, I feel like we're starting from the ground up just because it hasn't been looked at in a really long time. But when people are committed to it, it goes really, really fast, actually, so.
now, the students that will serve next year on next year's committee are, it's all seniors, the students on the committee, correct?
Yes.
No?
Right?
All right.
Is there a junior? Okay, so a couple of juniors we have that
Well,
will
that's good,
hopefully
because
continue.
that helps with the bridges,
That is-
you know?
They
what I mean?
haven't been as consistent, but they will hopefully continue.
Okay.
And they have brilliant ideas, brilliant ideas. My watch is talking to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
Good?
I'm good, thank you.
Good to go.
Okay, so we got a letter from Cheryl Brady. She's our director of Area 10, which is our Westchester Putnam School Boards Association area. She's been she's been really responsive and sends out really good newsletters and stuff. She would like to run again, but the board would have to not send her a nomination on district letterhead. I have what's required on it. Does anybody have any objections to us nominating her?
No.
I do not.
Okay, I'll give that to Maureen. The town board meeting that you're going to on the 13th, 5 o'clock, they're going to start the discussion with EV buses, correct?
It's 5 o'clock, yes.
Because I could probably be there a half an hour before I had to leave to go to BOCES, but,
It's a work session, and they only do the public announcements at their actual business meeting.
so you're going to be at the work session?
I'm going to go to the work session because there's a couple of issues that are going on that I want to ask them some questions about. The 27th is their actual meeting where they would ask the fire department, ambulance, library,
give their
school to
reports.
talk, yeah.
And we have the
I'm
chorus
going to be at
concert.
the chorus concert that night.
So-
That's why I'm going on the
Right.
13th, you know,
Okay.
to let them know my
Okay.
concerns about a couple of issues.
So I had planned to go to the 13th as well. Barbara, if you want to go
Oh.
to the 13th for a half an hour, I don't know that it's feasible for us to do that.
But there's no,
You know,
you know,
like,
They're
we're not
not-
going to be able to
it's
do
not-
much,
right.
so, okay. So then, on the 27th, I can go and cover that month.
that's where you need
Okay.
to do the presentation.
And that's where I will talk about EV buses.
Okay.
But you're not going to be there, right?
Not on the 27th,
Okay,
no, the
so
13th.
if there's anything that anybody would like to add, we can start, you know, a collaboration
list,
so that we
right.
ensure
School
that we're
events. Right.
giving all the information possible that we
Okay.
have at the moment.
All right, let's see. I wanted to mention again the Meet the Candidates night tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at the library, and we appreciate the library for hosting. Okay, so this is the end of the year when I start harassing people about evaluations. So we have to evaluate Dr. Luft, and we have to evaluate ourselves as a board.
Yeah.
So I went on Board Doc,
Is it set up?
super eval, and it's set up, but you have to scroll down in the dates, make sure you pick the
The right
year that
year.
we're
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
and pick the board self-evaluation. So I'd like to have the board's self-evaluations by May 28th.
Oh, no problem.
Will you be sending a reminder email?
I will send, I will
Will you be
send you.
sending a reminder email?
I will. I asked Dr. Luft if he could have his self-evaluation done by the 28th. As soon as he has that done,
Then
I
we'll
will
do
get
it.
it to you, and I need, like, by June 8th, so it only gives you a week to do Dr. Luft, so if you could, like, in your head, set aside 2 hours. I know I have to go through Dr. Luft's self-evaluation, because on the 11th of June, which is a board meeting, I want to have an executive session with him going over his evaluation.
Okay, you want our evaluation with,
Your,
for
se-
Dr.
the
28th.
board self-evaluation by
Right,
the
it's
28th.
that I have. And then Dr.
And
Luft
Dr.
is-
Luft's is due on the 28th, and I will get
But
it
you
to
gotta
you
wait
by
for
the
him to
29th.
evaluate himself before you can.
When do you want it again? When do you want it from
The-
us? For
The 8th,
28th.
the 8th. The 28th for board evaluation and the 8th for Dr.
So we like
Luft.
scaffold them. So the first one, the
That's all I
self-eval, has
needed
to be
was
done by
June
the
8th.
8th. And then on the same day that you hand that one in, your next assignment's
Right.
due. I mean, your next assignment will be handed to you.
Thank
So
you.
that'll be
But
my
everybody has the
self-evaluation.
same
But you then have
assignment?
another.
Is
2
there a
weeks to-
syllabus for that?
Yeah.
We already have two things on the 8th. I'm not doing any of them, but we already have 2 for the board, so adding a third seems like a task.
I'm really sorry.
He is going to the 8th grade, you're going to the WPIP Zizba WPS.
Right.
The 8th grade thing is not on the calendar.
But he
There's a
just,
lot on the 8th.
it has to be done before that. So
That's
by
the-
the 8th, it'll be
that's-
clear.
That's
Anytime
D-Day.
before that. And you know I'll send you a little reminder note.
Would love that,
Say,
yes.
please get this done.
I'm trying to put enough
Okay.
reminders in.
I also wanted to mention that New York State has passed its 8th budget extender. So we are, Dr. Chen and Dr. Luft have done this budget with their fingers crossed that that the state budget is going to come in on time, but it's not. So it makes it terribly difficult, I think, to plan a budget when you don't know what your state figures are. So I'd like to thank both Dr. Love, Dr. Chen, and their associates for all the work they do trying to figure out what is the state going to do in a month. So I just wanted to say that.
I just want to point out, we don't get any extensions for our school budget vote.
I know.
So even though we don't know how much money we're getting from the state, we have to just make it up.
making
Certainly
up the
makes
number.
it more complicated to not know how much money we're getting before we vote on our school
That's
budgets.
why I don't do your job. Can't even begin to imagine. Okay, I think that's it for me.
I think I asked this last time, but I don't remember. Who is anybody from the board going to meet the commissioner? At
I
least
am,
one person should.
I am, but I'm going to be ready if Dr. Luff gives you the high sign that the crowd is getting too big, please leave. I'll be happy to leave.
Okay.
I'm going to go, but
So we did change the structure a little bit. We had a planning meeting with representatives from the commissioner's office earlier this week. My fear was if we're going to tour classrooms, I can't really be parading 37 adults into classrooms where
Agreed.
kids are learning.
That's not nice, yeah.
We did transition away from that, at least at the high school. The initial piece is going to include what I would call like a gallery walk up in the high school library. We have some of our students presenting, whether it be their science research, their CAS or TOK projects, their skill of bioliteracy. We're going to have representatives from different clubs available there to speak. We really want to highlight some of both the academic as well as the student leadership opportunities that exist here in the high school. So that environment is certainly more conducive to a larger crowd. So I would say anybody who wants to attend is welcome to attend that.
have you invited our board reps?
Jackie already has them scheduled to
Okay.
lead. They're actually leading the tour.
Good for you.
You guys are
Excellent.
leading the tour?
They are meeting the
First time hearing
commissioner
about
at the
that.
front door. Well, if you check your email, Jackie's probably sending it right now.
That's why Jackie wanted to talk to you tonight.
That's wonderful.
It's after the circus that takes place outside the building beforehand, and the parade, and the balloons, and
The bubble bus?
flyover.
Oh, my gosh.
I feel like that has to make you feel so good.
You're
Like
not
the
really doing
confidence
those
your
things, are
district
you?
has in you to
No.
lead.
No.
Well, some of them.
That's
but
so
not all.
wonderful. So what time is the gallery? That's
The
first
plan
thing?
is to start at
8.
8:40, we'll say. She's supposed to arrive at 8:30, so our plan is to start that kind of gallery walk in the high school library around 8:40. But I will say that we cannot take everyone on our tour of classrooms, so some will have to stay behind.
Okay. Anything else?
It might be a fire hazard to have so many people walking down the hallway together.
So, did you want us there or no?
You're welcome to come, absolutely.
No.
I told the commissioner's
He
office
gives you
that.
to go.
I told the commissioner's office that we had already extended the invite to our board members.
Okay.
So, yes,
So if we don't show up, we look delinquent.
no. Other people have to work.
I'm just kidding.
Do you want me to write your note?
I need the note. I will do my best. And good luck to the candidates for their Meet the Candidates
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Good luck to you.
It's the thing you hate to do the most.
Oh my God,
but
it
it's
was so
I know,
hard.
but it is so important.
It was
Really,
so
it is.
hard.
So,
It was so hard.
even though it's, other than jumping out of your car to push those signs in to our rocky roads in Putnam Valley. I brought my daughter last time I did it. You hop out and put them
Or
in.
remembering where you put them to pick them up.
Yes.
That was a hard one too.
Or maybe where they were supposed to have been and are no longer there.
Oh.
Yes.
Anyway.
I just want to say one thing about that. I really am so grateful to have another person running. I think it's important. And it's wonderful to see members of our community stepping up. I don't believe that it should ever be just a person sliding into a position because there was no one else. It's really great to see that we have community members that are willing to do this work. So thank you.
Anything else?
Good to go.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night.
Good night.